Have you ever been with people, maybe at work or a party or even a casual conversation, and felt completely disconnected? Like you're going through the motions of being social, but inside you're isolated. You're technically with people, but the connection, it's not there. And you go home wondering, what is wrong with me? Why does it always feel like I'm on the outside looking in? And if that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not crazy, and you're definitely not the only one who feels that way. This kind of disconnection is a core trauma symptom. It's not your fault that you were wounded in this way, and there's a lot you can do to heal it. It takes practice, but you can learn how to have better relationships, and you can overcome a lot of the obstacles that make connecting so hard. Now, for a lot of people with childhood trauma, being around people doesn't bring connection, not automatically. It brings stress more often. You might be friendly and funny and helpful, but inside, you're uneasy. You can't quite relax. You feel like there's something you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it, and you don't quite know what it is. You're preoccupied with what other people might be thinking. You're trying to manage how you're coming across. You're playing a role. And it's exhausting. You may have learned as a kid that people can't be trusted, that if you show your true self, you'll be judged, that you'll be rejected, punished. So you learn to hold back, to be agreeable, to be normal, to be appropriate, to say what you thought people wanted to hear. And that habit doesn't disappear just because you're grown. If anything, it gets more automatic. You don't even realize you're doing it. And now, when you're with other people, part of you is still holding back. You want closeness, but you're braced for disappointment. You want to be seen, but you're afraid of being exposed, You want to let people in, but so many times there's this risk it will overwhelm you. They'll expect too much. It will get too stressful. And you fear on a deep level that one way or another, you'll ruin everything. Do you ever have that fear? I'm going to ruin everything. And I've done it before too. So it's not crazy to have that thought. So this is the solution that a lot of us used before we had anything better. We held people at arm's length. And this is what I call covert avoidance. You're not running away, but you're not letting anyone close either. You're there, but you're not available, not emotionally, not necessarily even paying attention. And this isn't a flaw. Technically, it's a trauma-driven strategy that you might not even realize you're doing. And it kept you safe when you were small, but now it keeps you isolated. It makes connection feel impossible. Even if people like you, even if they invite you, even if you're included, you may misread people. You might assume that they're annoyed even when they're not. You might feel rejected even when you're being included. You might interpret normal human behavior as a sign that you're not wanted. And you might feel like everyone else knows something that you don't, like there's an emotional language that you never learned. And often, it's not that you're imagining things, it's that you're seeing the world through the lens of the trauma that you lived through. You're reading every word, every gesture, every silence like it might hurt you. And your mind is always scanning, scanning, always preparing for rejection. Oh, there it is. This creates a loop. And you go into a social setting already stressed, like just going in the door. It's happening. It happened on the way there. It happened when you were getting ready to do it. It happened when you made the decision that you would participate. So you manage this by keeping your distance, emotionally. Physically you're there, but emotionally you're controlling dysregulation and anxiety by not really connecting. And people pick up on that and they back off a little bit. And you take that as proof that you don't belong. And then you leave feeling more alone than when you arrived. So how do you stop doing that? Okay, start with the truth. Connection is hard for most of us who grew up with trauma, but connection is possible. You don't need to force it. You don't need to fake it. You just need practice. It's a skill. And a lot of us weren't taught fully how to do connection. No one was connecting with us, or not very much, and it didn't develop naturally. So it's like learning a new language, not overnight, but a little at a time, by participating, by trying, by showing up consistently. You don't have to become a different person. You just have to be persistent. So before you go into a social setting, take a few minutes to calm your body. You can breathe slowly, remind yourself you don't have to perform, you don't have to be interesting, you don't have to be perfect. You can just be present. And then when you're with people, try this. You can let yourself pause. Let there be a little silence before you speak. Let yourself feel what's really going on. Like instead of just sort of galloping over your feelings, just be like, quick, I got to say something. I have to do something with my hands, right? But just hang out there a little bit. Just kind of feel what's going on. Don't rush in. And this is what we call reading the room. And it's a connection skill. And it's something I talk about a lot. I have this book coming out, Connectability. And by the time you watch this, it may already be out. You can go pre-order it on Amazon or on my website at crappychildhoodfairy.com. There's always links down below in the description section too. This is a step-by-step manual that covers things like this about how is it that we that have hidden ways that we're not connecting with people even when our heart is just hoping and trying and wanting and wondering when do I get to connect with people and have people close to me? There's a way forward. I had to learn it. All my books are about how, the step-by-step path that actually cracked the code for me. And I don't know why. I'm the person who just has to keep trying all the time. But I didn't start out good at this. And I'm pretty good at it now. And it feels more natural to me. I think it is natural for people, but there's a learning curve that a lot of us were deprived of when we were little. And so we put ourselves back on the learning curve. And that takes some guts, I know. So we do it slowly. So what are people actually saying when you're with them? What are you actually feeling? And when you're not racing to manage everything, you can start to notice the small cues of connection, the cues of connection. You get a cue and then you do an action of connection. So focus on listening more than speaking at first, not all the time. I know some people, like the manifestation of trauma is that you're the best listener in the world and nobody ever asks about you. So obviously that's gone too far. By hanging out and being present, that dynamic can change. So look for someone you can be present with, someone who seems kind, someone who, you can ask a question to. Let yourself be curious. Don't try to impress them. Don't try to game the system so that they do it back to you. If they do, they do, and you'll get that information because they do take an interest in you. And if they don't, that's also a data point for you, right? Not somebody who's very interested in others or, not us. So just be there. Just be there. Just listen. Just be a human being in the room. And if you feel the urge to withdraw, notice that too. That's a normal trauma symptom. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It probably means that you feel the need to avoid getting dysregulated, and you don't yet trust yourself to be able to interact and stay regulated. So you might be bracing for shame and rejection before anything even happens. The best thing that you can do in that moment is stay. Just stay present. Have I told you yet to always keep pen and paper with you? If you're at a party and you're getting overwhelmed, try ducking away into a corner or into the bathroom to just write a few lines of your daily practice. You can learn that in the free course that I've put in the second link in the description section below. And people who have learned that come to calls with us every week. It's free. It's quite a thing we have going on here. It would be great to have you join us if you want to. So you get those fears and resentments on paper. It's a specific format, and then you release them. And you might just find that a sense of ease immediately just starts to fill you up once you can sort of name what's getting you, what's the anxious thought is, and you've asked for it to be removed or released it. And then you pause a little bit. This is like a mini daily practice right when you're in the bathroom at the party trying to just cope with what's coming up for you. You might just find you're just like, okay, I'm going out there again. I feel like I can deal with this. I'm not so tripped out on what's going on here. You might just get a sense that you can stay. You can handle what is happening if you have a way to sort of, release all the thoughts and feelings that build up in that traumatized mind. That pause right there, that's where healing happens. And when you don't let the symptom make the choice for you, when you can feel the fear of connection and you hang in there, sometimes you might find yourself doing all the right things, showing up, smiling, making conversation, but you still feel flat inside. You don't feel connected. And by the way, this is totally a trauma symptom. If you're wondering, do you have common symptoms of trauma that affect your ability to connect? I mean, this is a major manifestation of trauma. It hasn't been really talked about a lot yet. I have a quiz. It's not going to diagnose you with whether you have complex PTSD. It just lists like these are the common ways it shows up when trauma has affected your ability to connect. It's not just social. It's not just behavioral. It's partially neurological. It can come partly from, a neurological effect, an injury functionally of neglect in your childhood. So how do you know? Well, there's some signs. So if you want to see how many of those signs that you've been experiencing in your life, it's a quiz. It's the first link down below in the description section for this video. And all you have to do is click on it and I'll send it to you. You can use that as a tool to go, oh my gosh, I have a lot, or actually I don't, or you can see what you relate to. Finding that you have symptoms, I mean, these are normal. They're normal symptoms. And facing them, that's part of healing too. So don't be hard on yourself about it. That'll just discourage you, really, if you're just like, oh no, I scored 10 out of 10. Don't get discouraged. It's really a relief when you know, like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. I just have really normal wounds, normal signs that I was neglected or abused when I was a kid, and it's affected my ability to connect, and I can learn to do it, right? Real connection doesn't always feel magical anyway. Sometimes connection is quiet, and sometimes it builds slowly, and it can't really do that when we're working overtime trying to figure out who other people want us to be. So connection isn't about doing it right. It's about showing up honestly. It's about letting someone see you, even if it's just for a few seconds. That's enough to start building real connection. One moment of truth, and then another. And that's how trust starts to grow. And when you feel alone around people, it doesn't mean you're defective. It means you've been hurt and you haven't learned how to feel safe yet. But you can learn, and it gets easier the more you practice. You're not invisible. You're not too much. You're not the only one. You're a person with trauma symptoms. And these symptoms, they can be healed. You can become someone who feels at home in the world, someone who feels like yourself with other people, someone who connects, someone who belongs. So let yourself want that. It's okay to want that. It's normal. You should have it. I want you to have it. Let yourself want friends, want love, want closeness, want to laugh at stuff. There's nothing better than like laughing your ass off, with friends. So you deserve all that. There's no shame in wanting this. It's good, it's noble, and it's right for you to want people to be close to you. You may not know exactly how to form those relationships yet, but wanting it is the impetus. It's the fuel that's going to propel you through the lessons that you'll be learning. If you go ahead and let this learning happen and just let it in. I do want to learn to connect better. You might still say something awkward. I still always do. You might still feel misunderstood, and that's okay. Some of the best people are awkward and misunderstood, and that's part of it. It's not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're learning. I had to learn all of this myself, by the way, and now I teach other people how I do it. And, I have a course and a book and quizzes and a lot of stuff going on. This is something I care very much about, and I know how painful it is to suffer with it. So don't wait until you feel perfectly healed to start connecting. You're not going to learn to connect except by trying. So you learn by doing, you heal by doing, and you'll grow into the kind of person who not only connects with others, but who trusts the process, who enjoys it, who can, rest in connection. Think of that. Everybody's sitting around, relaxed, talking. Yeah, it's not a fantasy. That's the future that you can build. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes showing up even when it's hard, but you can do it. And it won't happen overnight, but it does happen. One honest moment at a time. One brave pause where people can see you. One connection. That's how it starts. You're doing just fine, so keep going. If you like this topic, I've got a video that builds on it right over here, and I will see you very soon. Today, what's happening is your own behavior. And the worse you were hurt back then, the more likely it is that you have a pattern of hurting yourself now.